Hello everybody, and here, and welcome back to Shangri-La Frontier, Season 2, Episode 2, or Episode 27, because Split Core is... fucking hate shows that do the numeration of, it's the second season, it's the second episode of the second season, not Episode 27 of your imaginary split season. Please, I beg of you, number things correctly. But yeah, I'm just gonna say second episode of the second season because I mean it is called like officially Shangri-La Frontier second season, not Shangri-La Frontier second core or part 2 or anything like that. Regardless, small rant. Where are we right now? Well, in the previous episode, we went back to the world of the Shangri-La with Sanraku, Emul, Bilach, and Aramis, right? Aramis? He's not listed on any list. Well, that's interesting. I have this little... maybe I can show you, actually. Can I... Would be great if I could. Here. This. Yeah, I have this bit on my second screen showing me the characters in the... this. In the show, and apparently Anilist doesn't have him, or I can see him. I should probably take my data from my Animalist, shouldn't I? It usually has more accurate and more complete data. Regardless, they are in a new area, an area filled with techno-magical thingamajigs, right? There are some like skeletons of giant robots, it seems like. There are some like technological looking ruins made of steel and concrete, not brick and stone, right? All sorts of stuff like that. And in general, it seems like a huge cemetery of robots, mechas, other different machines. And sure enough, the enemies that they have to face there are golems. Some of them are just tiny little robots that pose absolutely, well, maybe not absolutely no threat to Sanraku and his team, but pose very little threat to them. Some of them are a little bit stronger than that. One of them being some sort of a broodmother robot that spawns CG balls with legs that latch onto you and then explode. Now, thankfully, because they have Aramis with them, and Aramis is kind of fucking broken with his skills, destroying that thing was not all that hard, especially with that bit of a combiner attack that B and Sanraku performed. I really like all those combiner attacks that Sanraku and the bunnies do, right? Like Emul latching onto his arm and becoming a blaster, or doing some sort of a combo with B. I just love it. So it really was great to see that. And Sanraku got 2 items out of it, one of them being some sort of an idol thing, but it's essentially a grenade, which when struck it explodes, and another one being another sort of an idol that summons or attracts some specific monster. And both items are featured quite prominently in the opening, so presumably they will be relevant in the future. We'll see, of course. All of that ends, well, yeah, I mean, yeah, the previous episode ends with them entering a factory because they are looking for like a technological thingamajig to be able to power the suits and weapons from Inventoria, and it's probably not gonna be in like regular ruins of some wooden hut. It's probably not gonna be in a castle. It's probably gonna be in a factory, and they found one such factory, entered it. And unbeknownst to them, they are being followed by Towa, Amane, and Kei Uomi, who are, as I said in the previous episode, with friends like this, who needs enemies? So yeah, that's gonna be great. Seeing how they scavenge through those ruins, seeing how they meet. Maybe Sanraku will have to engage in a little bit of good-natured PvP. We'll see all about it. And then there was the Shangri-La Theater, the mini thing with some new garbage VR game coming out, and of course Rei had to buy it because Sanraku would of course play it, and it has multiplayer, so chances are that they could play it together. Chances are Rei is not actually gonna invite Rakuro to play with her, but on the off chance that she gets a little bit of little bit more courage, maybe we'll see them play together. We'll see, of course, in today's episode. So how about I just stop talking and we start watching, right? Shall we? To do it, you're gonna need your subs, of course, to follow along with me. I'm gonna need my sound to hear what's going on in the show, and I'm gonna have to ask you for support the channel if you want to monetarily on Patreon, YouTube, down below, or not. Share my content, spread the word, it costs you nothing and helps a lot. And with that, we can start watching Shangri-La Frontier episode 2, season 2 in 3, 2, 1, go. We're still doing the intro. Shangri-La Frontier. Indeed. I'm, by the way, super grateful that they added this English language logo on white background. I was unable to find logo for Shangri-La Frontier Season 2 for my thumbnails in English. I mean, this one was readily available anywhere with transparent background and whatnot, but in English, none of them. Thankfully, because of this one single frame, single scene, I was able to cut it out and use it. I really wish more anime had, not even more, anime in general had some sorts of press kits, the way games have press kits, where you have different versions of the logo with transparent background, and you have different screenshots or art, concept art or key art in landscape, in portrait, in all sorts of shapes and sizes. Because most we get for anime are 2 or 3 key arts in portrait and the Japanese logo at 200 by 100 pixels, and that's it. And it's not easy to make a vertical landscape thumbnail out of those. I sometimes, rarely thankfully, but sometimes I even had to resort to generative fill in Adobe Firefly to just give a little bit more width to the piece of art. Regardless, yeah, magical operation unit, deep in it. Very deep. I mean, judging by the sound, yeah. I have expected them to just kick Sanraku into this hole. Yeah, of course. Friends don't keep secrets from friends. They help each other. Yes. Yeah. Oh, they figured that he's in an area where the crystal scorpions are? Is Inventoria like shared between them? Yes, Inventoria is shared. Interesting. I mean, yeah, of course it is. In season 1, I even made a comment that it would be cool if they made like their own like guild place inside of Inventoria. Friends. Vaguely. Yes. I mean, yeah, true. They do remain out of their reach. Yes. Maybe you just fucked up with your build. Right, we can find it, but we need like a divine blacksmith, and we need a magical operations unit. Of course, he's not gonna jump himself. Monks probably have some like physical resistance. And maybe falling counts as physical damage. Hopefully it does. Yeah. Yes. Oh, there's at least some light at the bottom. That's good. It has to be real fucking deep if the light isn't visible up top. Okay, so everybody made it down safely. Okay, not everybody yet. And the trap. Of course. Probably enemies incoming. More of those ball explodey things? No, something different. A little bit, maybe. Hopefully not. Yeah, I mean, it's at least not as big as Weathermon. And seeing how it's like the first thing that the facility summoned, it's probably not that powerful, right? Let's see that. Prima slash classic. Not gonna be enough, is it? Get blocked, Aramis, yeah. It seems like energy shields can block some types of damage. Yeah. I mean, it's fully operational for once. You got some new tricks up your sleeve? True. With a lot of preparation and a lot of resurrection items, right? You did beat Weathermon. Hopefully this one is not Weathermon level, because you don't have the benefit of so much preparation. Okay. It's not Weathermon level. Is it? Not quite. 4 arms means 4 shields. And the ability to shoot backwards, yeah? Pencil gun? No? Pencil gun. Or is it Aramis? Aramis and Emul combined attack. Primal slash? Of course. Does he know any other spells? Oh, weak spot. Perfect for Sanraku to use. Or pencil gun. Yep. It's more of a javelin than a spear. I mean, you can throw spears, but still. I did not think that she would be using a thrown weapon. Yes. No healers, no tanks, just pure DPS. The most unbalanced party there is, and yet they make it work. I mean, ain't no kill like overkill. Also, the best defense is good offense, right? Or, as we say in Warframe community, there is no better crowd control than killing the enemies. If they're dead, they are, like, hard crowd controlled. Yeah, apparently. Kaldwulf. How'd you get your hands on it? Also, does it mean you have a hero class now? Or... can you even change a class? Or can you, like, multi-class, be a hero assassin or something, for example? Right. Probably should have leveled it up a little bit more. Yeah, I mean, sure. That would be a safe assumption. Oh. Gotta beat the Guardian multiple times to finally drop the key. Yeah, RNG without pity is no fun. There we go. 3rd time's the charm. That being... I mean, good point. Damn. That's like proper sci-fi lab, not even sci-fantasy. Maybe even a unique scenario for you. I love their dynamic. Yeah. And more security. Or maybe not. Yeah, check the containers as well. Omega symbol. And more Omega symbols. Is this like the final boss of the game? Maybe. Or the ancient people were fighting those demon-looking guys from space or something? Or they created those monsters in this very lab. That's also possible. Probably white and glowing. There it is. I mean, that's a nice hat. Maybe not. Maybe keep it. Okay, so they didn't throw it away. I was half expecting them to do the treasure bugs from Dungeon Meshi. Okay, we're gonna get a Divine Blacksmith on our hands. Right. They can't enter Rabiduza, can they? I mean, maybe they can with Sanoraku. Is it gonna be the professor? Oh, probably Animalia's guild, right? They are like fascinated by the rabbits. Yeah, curious. Yes. Yeah, I mean, you could get some info from them. True. She only wants to learn. Yeah, never missing a chance. She's brown. Are you all fucking colorblind? Or is she like supposed to be black in the manga and they just didn't know that? Started drawing her as brown and she just stays brown? I don't know. True. Right, he can't wear anything on his torso. Right, she's stuck there with Aramis. The stare right through the fourth wall. Ancient craftsman, not divine craftsman. Why? Fair. I don't like those smiles. They're way too friendly for those people. Animalia? Yep. Animalia and her gang. Fucking predator on the hunt. There's no PvP in the cities. Oh, that's the episode. I was about to make a joke that ending now, right? And yes, actually ending now. Man, those episodes are way too short. I'm so glad this got renewed for 25 episodes instead of just being 12. Because, I mean, the pacing is perfect. It really is. And if it were to be 12 episodes, they would have to either fuck up the pacing or they would simply not be able to fit enough into a season to be fully, properly satisfying, right? Good stuff. I love to see it when a double core series gets a double core sequel. Happens way too opposite of often. Way too rarely. Oh, C2C stands for Challenge to Challenge, apparently. And a mini. Oikatsu's 5-second answers. Yeah. Yes. What the fuck is Bula Base? That probably didn't land because it's a wordplay. Okay, that was a good episode. Let's watch it again. Yeah, Shangri-La just keeps being up there. Love to see it. Magic Operations Unit. Indeed. Yeah, friends help friends indeed. Fill the inventory with crystal scorpion materials, remember. Right, so I assume that they were able to find him because they figured, well, that's the only place that drops crystal scorpion materials. So he went in that direction, and they just went in that direction and continued going in that direction and just randomly found him, or I don't know actually how that worked. Those things only spawn on the crystal nest cliff, right? I mean, yeah. Oh, did they hear of the ruins of past glories as well? I'm not sure actually. They might have, which would explain how they managed to find him, right? Because they figured, okay, he's there getting crystal scorpion materials, which means he's probably en route to ruins of past glories. So we gotta go to the ruins of past glories to find him. Yeah, if they know of that, then it makes perfect sense actually. Black cat and rabbit. Yeah. Unique indeed. I really hope that he eventually gets some sort of a unique scenario. Something, anything. And it actually would be best if whatever he gets is like completely fucking tiny and inconsequential. Right? Like he gets a unique scenario where he, I don't know, finds a broken wall, breaks the wall, enters. That's the unique scenario. There's a chest inside, opens the chest, gets a cosmetic. There you go. Your unique scenario, your unique item. He wouldn't be able to complain anymore about not getting any uniques, right? But it would still be funny to get just completely shafted, right? Like where Sanraku gets access to a whole quest line of Rabituza, where he gets access to powerful NPCs following him around. He potentially gets access to an ancient craftsman, to like a map seller, and all those like unique NPCs and training and items and shit. For Kay to just find like a ribbon or something like that. Yeah, true. Luck does play a role, absolutely. I mean, Sanraku stumbled upon Rabituza completely by accident. Did Towa stumble upon Setsuna by accident as well? I actually can't remember. I'll get the story on your email later. Right, I mean, you probably should just tell them how you did it. It's not like they can repeat exactly what you did unless they like completely respect their characters. Maybe. A non-standard ether reactor, right. To repair it, we need an ancient craftsman, and an ancient craftsman needs magic operation unit to learn about the ancient technology. Yeah, makes perfect sense. I was fully expecting the entirety of this ruin to look like this, right? Where it's kind of like magic technological, and there's some moss growing, and there's something that might be ceramic plating, or it might be stone, or it might be iron plates or something like that, right? Like it could very well be just done with magic. I did not expect the entire inside of it to be like proper full-on sci-fi. Weathermon vibe, yeah, kinda. I really like the design of this robot. I generally have a weakness for design including those like sleek ceramic, I like to call them, I don't know if they're actually ceramic, ceramic plating, right? Like I really like Portal Gun, for example, because it has like those insides that are like black and metal and whatnot, and the outer ceramic white shell. And I really like the design of this robot for the exact same reasons, basically. The first game that I was working on, I actually made a gun there for the player that also had this sort of a feel. And whenever I'm like imagining myself making a game, it always contains this sort of aesthetic. It's really one of my weaknesses. Yeah, safe to assume you gotta go through it. Energy shield is able to completely stop primal slash. Interesting. I wonder if there is like some sort of like a resistance, like rock, paper, scissors kind of thing, where energy shields resist magic attacks. Armor resists melee attacks, and I don't know, magic shield resists technological attacks, or right, something like that maybe. So assuming primal slash is magic, then the energy shield was able to nullify it completely. But if you were to hit it with a melee weapon like B and K did, then it actually does some, well, didn't really do damage to the shields, but it pushed the robot back. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, it really does seem much higher level. Clan Wolfgang. There we go. Are they officially a clan? I think they are, aren't they? Vorpal Blade, Moon's Reflection. Yeah, doesn't seem resistant to melee attacks, so that's good at least. 2 hits from both sides, and the middle is wide open. 2 magic attacks as well, right? Swordvan Solo, Magic Edge, Primal Slash, and just like that, created a weak spot, and then the weak spot can be exploited with a stabby, throwy weapon. I really like the sound design here. The almost like a sonic boom kind of, right? The whoop as she throws the spear. They really know how to give oomph to the attacks in this show, don't they? Right? A little bit of camera shake, a little bit of impact frame that's not even necessarily an impact frame, but maybe a frame just blown out in like brightness or something like that, right? And sound really does a lot for oomph. I actually noticed in multiple games that I've been playing where one of the biggest parts of attacks feeling powerful is the sound of them. It really is. There is a character in Punishing Grey Raven, for example, Lamia. And Lamia is, supposedly, one of the most powerful Dark Element attackers. And she probably is. But her attacks don't feel strong. They really don't feel powerful. Because she attacks with water, essentially, and it's not even like rushing waves kind of sound. It's just kind of whoop, whoop, and I see big numbers, but I don't feel big numbers, right? So great sound design like here really, really helps selling the attack. And I'm still loving the mechanic in Shangri-La Frontier, like from the standpoint of it being a game of you can use maybe not necessarily specific attacks, but you can use some attacks to break your enemy armor or do whatever to create a weak spot, and then you can exploit that weak spot with any number of weapons. That's actually super cool, and it really lends itself well to an MMO or a co-op game, right? You might have in a party that would maybe be balanced a little bit better than theirs, you might have a couple of people who specialize specifically in creating weak spots. And then you have a couple more who specialize in exploiting those weak spots, right? I really, really like this aspect of it. I probably said it multiple times in Season 1, but I love how Shangri-La Frontier just simply works as a game, right? It's not a fantasy world that they just tell us it's a game, right? But in reality, it's just a fucking fantasy world. They have like menu screens and levels, but it doesn't feel like a game. No, Shangri-La actually feels like a game, right? You can see the distinct mechanics here. It really, really just works. Nothing but attackers. I actually only just noticed that they legit have 0 fucking supporters. Sanraku is an attacker, dual wielding assassin kinda character. Towa is an attacker, spear assassin kinda attacker. K is a monk kinda attacker. B is a blacksmith, like hammer wielding attacker. Aramis is a fencer attacker. Emul is like what? Not a DPS mage, but like a single target mage attacker. They have no healers, no supports, no tanks, nothing like that. They could really benefit from Rei joining them, right? Saiger Zero, she would be a tank. Anybody who would be a support? I don't know. I mean, even the like Shinobi girl that we've seen in the opening with the mask and the other rabbit, right? Both of them also seem like attackers. So assuming they join the party at some point, it's just gonna be more attackers. But at the same time, as I said, the best CC is just killing your enemies. It really is, especially in Warframe, where a bit of a rant, I guess. Like, Warframe developers are sometimes really very confused. Why don't people use CC? Why do people just use abilities that allow them to stand in a spot and just wipe out entire rooms, right? Like, you have so many like CC powers, and you can slow enemies, and you can protect the target from enemies and whatnot, right? Well, if you kill an enemy before they make it to the objective, they're not gonna hurt the objective. If you kill an enemy, they're gonna get like 100% slow, essentially, because they cease to exist, right? Additionally to that, there are enemies who are resistant to CC, or immune to CC, or immune to some CC, but not other CC, right? Because there's some abilities that slow, and some other abilities that slow, but only the first half works on that given enemy, the other doesn't, and it's just a complete fucking clusterfuck. Damage works. You don't have to worry whether an enemy is resistant to damage or not. Damage just fucking works. So yeah, good offense works. DPS only party is usually supposed to be a problem. Yeah, not in this case, thankfully, because they don't rely on kiting, they don't rely on tanking, right? They are pretty much all, well, not all, but they are more or less kind of dodge tanks. Sanraku is a dodge tank. K would be more like a parry tank. No, I think he actually has like a lot of health, right? He's a health tank, I think. Well, regardless. Main weapon, Holy Spear, Khaled Wolf, right? Khaled Wolf. It's gotta be Welsh, with Khaled being read as Khaled Wolf. It's gotta be Welsh. Actually, is it like an actual mythical weapon, I wonder? Khaled Oh. It's Arthur's sword. It's Excalibur, but Welsh, essentially. Yeah, it's Welsh name for Excalibur. Sure. I guess someone reforged it into a spear. That works. One of only 5 hero weapons in this game. So like Momonga's staff of Einsulgon, right? That was the name of it. Having one unlocks the hero job. Heroes are basically assassins anyway. I mean, kinda, right? Like, there is the Demon Lord General in the area. help us, dear hero, assassinate that demon lord general, right? Like, heroes don't necessarily work on the front lines, they just eliminate the high value targets, so you could actually argue that heroes are basically assassins. Yeah, RNG. RN fucking G. Again, I'm gonna bring Warframe. Actually, Warframe got much better in regards to RNG recently. They didn't like backport many of those accommodations, but most of the new, like, it used to be that weapons and new frames and stuff would drop parts, right? And you would go and beat the boss, and you beat the boss 50 fucking times, and you still don't get the new optics, right? And you continue beating the boss, and you continue beating the boss, and the one single fucking part you need just doesn't drop, right? That used to be the Warframe experience. Nowadays they are much better. They basically include pity pretty much everywhere, where you defeat the boss and you get a part, and you also get like 14 bits of whatever currency, and then you can exchange like 100 of that currency for any given part. So if you're really unlucky, you know that there's only so many runs you need to do before you can just buy those parts outright from a merchant. And I truly believe that it's the best way to do RNG, right? Like, if you're lucky, you can get your items earlier, but if you're really unlucky, you have that bit of a security net. Relieving past traumas, yeah. Farming fucking Equinox. Usually Warframes require 4 parts. Blueprint, neuroptics, chassis, and systems. Equinox requires night aspect, neuroptics, night aspect chassis, night aspect systems. Day aspect blueprint, day aspect chassis, day aspect neuroptics, day aspect systems, and then an overall blueprint. And there was no pity back then. I also have traumas related to RNG, Sanraku, believe you me. It's set to open if it scans a working legacy weapon. What would be a working legacy weapon that they have? None. They did not manage to power any of the weapons from Inventoria, did they? Unless Keldwulf counts as a legacy weapon, maybe? I don't know. Oh, like, it's supposed to open with a legacy weapon, but Case ability was able to bypass that requirement. Gotcha. Probably. I love their dynamic. I really, really love them as a party. She really, especially in this scene, she really has that, like, 90s anime vibe to her, right? Like, this particular frame, the side mouth, the profile of her head, the slightly washed out colors, right? Like, she feels like someone out of, I don't know, Love Hina or something, right? Am I the only one who sees that? I'll surely find it, and sure enough, Emil actually did find it. Omega, and a sort of an Omega monster thing. So either this is some sort of a terminal that shows the past civilization people information about the enemy they're fighting, or it shows the results of their experiments. Either of the two. Either of the two. Let's make a note of it, shall we? There we go. Ancient people made monsters and that killed them all. Yeah, basically. Then they tried to undo it, but failed. Classic tale, right? We have, again, Warframe, Orokin and Sentience, Orokin and Infested, Orokin and Tenno, Orokin and Grineer, Orokin and Corpus. Man, whatever the Orokin made would always turn against them, wouldn't it? Yeah, but basically something along those lines, maybe. Or, alternatively... Nah, I don't think it was like an alien invasion or something like that. It's an Omega. Yeah. It's an Omega indeed. What could it mean? I'm just gonna make a nice little Omega symbol just to know that it's gonna be maybe, possibly relevant. And of course, Emil found it by accident. I fully expected them. I fully expected them to do just a haha funny moment of Emul or Sanoraku just throwing it away and it breaking, or throwing it into a hole or an incinerator or something like that, or just stashing it and never mentioning it, or right, I fully expected something like that to happen. Thankfully not. Thankfully B noticed just in time. Yeah, time is money. Let's head to Rabituza. No, you don't get to leave. Not that easily. Should have read that email. Yeah, of course he would be at the center of attention, and because he is at the center of attention of multiple people, people associated with him are as well. Head of Schwarzwolf came to negotiate with me. Negotiate what exactly? Joining them? Maybe. I mean, they are the clan that wants to defeat what's the face? Not Weathermon. The one that gave Sanraku the tattoos, right? To defeat that boss, that Colossus. So, seeing how Sanraku is marked by it, of course they would have vested interest in Sanraku. And also library, yeah. Again, there really is that, like, 90s anime vibe here. Maybe I'm just tripping balls right now, but please tell me you see it as well. Yeah, of course Sanraku doesn't have to be there. B can just do it alone. Right, like... It's so weird to see that in like a 2024 anime. I don't know, man. Like, not bad by any stretch of the imagination. There's just something to her design, to her art, to the muted colors that really reminds me of those early anime. Lycagon. Yeah. Of course, they wanna get to Lycagon. That look at the camera, right? A look at the hand, then a look at the camera. All that's missing is, like, you know, a black vignette closing in on her face. And that's all, folks. It's such a cartoony thing to do. I love it. I absolutely adore it. There was... What's going on with my camera? What was the anime in the previous season where I said that it's just pure fun? Because this is also pure fun. Shangri-La Frontier really is pure fun. If something is fun to do, or funny to do, they're gonna do it, right? It's not, there's not supposed to be drama, there's not supposed to be tragedy, there's not supposed to be, like, deep thoughts. It's just fun. Pure, unadulterated fun. And I think that's another way in which it manages to capture the essence of gaming, doesn't it? Because that's what games are supposed to be. They're supposed to be fun. They're supposed to be escapism. And this show really understands that perfectly. The final boss. Animalia and her gang. Oh boy. Logical, thorough. Aquapazza. Is it like a dish? Crazy water. Aquapazza. Jamie Oliver's fish in crazy water. So it's like Italian poached fish. That's aquapazza. Okay, sure. Is like one of his names aquapazza in some game? That's why they're asking it, or it's just completely out of left field? Yeah. Having her as your enemy is bad. Having her as on your side is even worse. Because she's just gonna exploit the hell out of you, and she's gonna pull you into all sorts of wild things that you don't necessarily want to be pulled into. Bouillabaisse. What's that? I'm assuming aquapazza is Italian poached fish, and bouillabaisse is like French poached fish. Bouillabaisse. It's French fish soup. Okay, so that's like the difference. Poached fish versus soup. What did the monk throw to the dog? A monastic. Oh, like monastery, monastic. Cool. I wonder what the pun was actually in Japanese. Yeah, I wonder what it was. Regardless. There we go. There you have it. Episode 27. Well, episode 2 of season 2 of Shangri-La Frontier. And what can I say? I mean, another banger. Another great episode. Does anything else need saying? I don't actually know, to be honest with you. I did not expect them to find those like sci-fi kind of ruins this early on, to be honest with you. I fully expected there to be a sort of a progression through the world, right? Where right now they were in the very fantasy lands, and then they're gonna get to entirely like ruined sci-fi bits, or maybe some sci-fantasy kind of areas. Then they're gonna start finding more and more sci-fi stuff, and eventually with level 200 second continent unlocks, or maybe in an expansion or a DLC or something like that, that has the actual proper like sci-fi elements to it, or something like that. Then again, they didn't really get much out of this ruin, which I don't actually know if it's surprising or not. Like, my instinct as a gamer tells me that if I were to enter those ruins, I would just grab everything. Like, you never know when each bit and bob from that place will actually be useful. Maybe this crate, maybe this box, maybe this ceramic shard, maybe this ancient screw or something like that, right? Maybe it's gonna be useful eventually. Maybe B is gonna need it for whatever, when she's an ancient craftsman, when new recipes unlock, and you're gonna have to go there, find the ruin again, right? Why do that if you can just grab everything and just hoard it? But maybe there just wasn't much to find there. Maybe there was just the magical operations unit, and the rest were just props or just trash and nothing actually useful. The place didn't look particularly big. That's also something that that surprised me. I fully expected them to essentially go on a dungeon delve, right? I expected this to be a good and proper dungeon, where they have to go through the rooms, and maybe they're gonna find some sort of a magical weapon, or like sci-fi weapon, or a blaster or something, and for the next 2 or 3 episodes we would be traveling through the dungeon to face against the final boss and get the magical operation unit and maybe some additional drops or something like that. But it really seems to be just essentially a single room, a single lab buried underground, protected by a single enemy, and that's essentially it. So that was kind of odd that we didn't go for a whole another adventure. Not bad, mind you, just I find it odd. It could be that magical operation units are supposed to be like common drop at certain levels, right? Like you're at level cap, for example, and you are all geared in mystic gear, and the next step above is I don't know, techno gear or something, and you need a bunch of magic operation units. So they're not gonna make you fight a boss for every single one. They're just gonna hide some essentially secret rooms among the ruins, and you find it, you fight a decently hard enemy, you get the item, right? Maybe it's something like that, something more along the lines, rather than a scaled down dungeon. That would make perfect sense. Anything else? It's good to have Towa and Kei back in the party. Like, make no mistake, I really like Sanraku's interactions with the bunnies. I really like them as a party, especially B and Emul. Aramis is take it or leave it, honestly. But it's good to have the old party back, and it's good to have their their chemistry and how they work together, because it's great, it's amazing, I love it. Basically, like what Kay said at the end of the theater here could be said for every single one of them. You wouldn't want to have them as your enemies, but having them as friends is arguably even worse. And I really, really enjoy this dynamic between characters, where they don't do the I can fix him shtick, but rather I can make him worse, actively towards each other. It's great. I love it. Anything else? Not really, I don't think. It's interesting seeing Animalia finally arrive and catch them. I wonder where that storyline is gonna go, if anywhere, right? Assuming Sanraku doesn't immediately bail and run away. I wonder if he reveals the secret or not, or right, like what's gonna go there, what's gonna happen there, because Animalia's guild's shtick is finding and cataloging all monsters and creatures in the game, right? So maybe they're just gonna take a photo of Emul, get her stats, and that's that? Or are they gonna harass Sanraku for details how to get to Rabituza? If they do, I don't think they're gonna be able to enter either, right? Like, the way to start that quest is pretty damn specific. So, yeah, they're not gonna be happy about it, are they? Maybe they're gonna enlist Sanraku to help them catalog all the bunnies or something like that. Maybe, I don't know. I'm wondering what exactly Momo's or Saiger Zero's sister clan wants from Sanraku. Probably info about Lycagon, maybe help vanquishing Lycagon. From what we could see in promo material, they're probably gonna fight Lycagon in this season, probably at the end. That's probably gonna be the climax of this season. Which also begs a question: what's gonna happen to Sanraku after they presumably win against Lycagon? Does he lose the tattoo? Can he start wearing armor now, right? He would kind of lose his identity if he was allowed to wear armor. Or maybe his tattoo evolves in a way that gives him a hell of a stat boost, where he just doesn't want to wear armor, because maybe he can now, after the tattoo has evolved, but it would disable the effects of the tattoo. That would actually be cool. That would actually be cool. Like, if he needs to wear some specific armor, he can, right? But when shit hits the fan and he needs to actually fight, then armor is just useless for him. That could work. That could work. I wonder. I mean, it's not even a given that they're gonna win against Lycagon. It's not even a given that winning against Lycagon is the end of that storyline, is it? There's also the whole thing with the expansion, isn't there, that wasn't explored in a previous season, where they added sailing, right? And Rei wanted to look at the new things in game together with Sanraku. They kind of dropped that. There's still a lot to explore in this game. There's still a lot to explore in the show. Yeah. Oh yeah. Season 3, hopefully. It might feel weird mentioning Season 3 at the beginning of Season 2, that's already double core, but I really hope for like a complete adaptation. I think the manga or light novel or whatever is the source material here is still coming out, right? I think so. Yeah, source A is the mango, and the mango is still releasing. That's cool. That is super cool. All right, great episode. I had a lot of fun, and I hope you did have plenty of fun with Shangri-La Frontier as well as I did, because it's really a super fun show. But in any case, you guys tell me, what did you think of this episode, my reaction, my theories, stuff like that, down in the comments below. Except spoilers, don't leave spoilers there, leave spoilers to my Discord if you'd like. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe to be notified of future videos, not only Shangri-La Frontier but also Dandadan Mecha Ude, Mahonare, Arifureta Season 3, and something else that I forgot. And plenty more coming in the future. Click the bell to be notified when those shows go live and when I go live, because I stream sometimes. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon or YouTube down below, or not. Share my content, spread the word, it costs you absolutely nothing and helps the channel a lot. And now, with all of that out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's my wonderful Patreons: QB, Zarene, Yukiala, Dr. Watt, Akamasar Marsh, Fassel, and Hans Peter. And you can join them if you want without having friends like Kay and Toa, although they are kind of fun to be with.